Hey everybody, it's George Saldano. I'd like to promote Happy Tears and Jamani Estes. Freak Show came out just a few weeks ago. I want you guys to check it out. It's a great film. And yeah, just learn about these people and learn about their craft and work. And hope you guys enjoy it. Hey everybody, this is George Saldana. This is a new addition to Disney Thursdays. We're here in Sacramento, California. Shout out to all the cities, small and big, here in the United States. And a shout out to all the countries around the world. Here with me is Jamani Estes. Disney Thursdays. This podcast is strictly for Disney. We talk about them. And it's all for the Disney fanatics. And ladies and gentlemen, today's film is... What's up, Jamani?
What's up, my man?
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. It's good to be back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another edition. Okay. So this time, second animated film from Disney, Pinocchio.
Best one, man.
Okay. What was your first experience watching this film?
The first? I honestly can't even tell you. I know I was super baby. And, like, not literally, but, like, super baby to the point, like, I watched it so many times that I don't remember the first time.
Okay.
I remember the first years. Like, that was, like, the only Disney movie I would watch. I'd have it on, like, repeat.
Yeah.
The tape. You know, you had to rewind the tapes.
Mm.
Yeah.
VHS? Yeah. I grew up watching.
Yeah.
That film stuck onto me for, like, since the first time I saw it. But I never got to listen or see the English version. I actually saw the Spanish version.
Interesting.
Yeah. We were at the flea market in San Jose.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, "Oh, it's Pinocchio," and then she got the VHS. It was probably like $5-10 at the time, and she bought it, and it was only the Spanish version. So, and I didn't understand English at the time, so I was like, "Okay, cool." I never saw it before, so we saw it that same night, and I liked it, but I also felt that I was a little scared. Oh, yeah, it was a dark cartoon, really dark. It's one of, like, I think I mentioned it before. The first few films are like one of the darkest films for Disney, even for kids. Were pretty dark, and Pinocchio's was one of them, but it had a good moral to it, despite all these dark visuals and all these adult themed issues that happened. Yeah.
Funny you say that. That's like when I was a kid, I didn't even know what was going on, to the point like you could just like tell the story, but like you don't know that they becoming jackasses and that's a donkey and shit like that. You know, it was weird. They getting like drunk and smoking. All kind of shit. So it's funny. And then even what's his name? The two cats. I know Gideon.
I don't remember.
I know Gideon. I forgot the other one. But like even them, like you don't think what's really going on until like you start getting older, and then you're like, oh shit. Yeah. These guys are mean. Yeah. They're bad influences. Yeah. So. Yeah.
I like the when I was watching it, my mom would be like, if you do this, you turn like this, just to scare you. And then I was like, I believed him for a little bit, and then I kept watching it. This is the type of film that I wouldn't watch all the time, just because one time in half a year or a year is good enough. Like it's not. I don't think it's meant for a film to be watched all the time. It's a great moment to watch the film at some point in your life, and then just whenever you might feel like watching it or you might stumble into it, you might as well just watch it. I remember speaking of those two, the cat and the fox. It was a fox and a cat. Yeah. I like the structure of what Disney brought up. Jiminy as the good conscience, and then them being the bad conscience. I never knew, like, I didn't notice it at first, but like, I just thought they were just side bad characters, like they were just there for trouble. And then Jiminy was the voice of reason, and yeah, and then the donkey's part was like a bit scary, the way it looked, and then
Even Stromboli. When he's
heck
into
yeah,
his
he was a scary
captivity,
dude. Scary dude, man. Yeah, like Pinocchio meets every person, creature, and they're really manipulative. And Jiminy has that responsibility to like protect Pinocchio of everything. It's sort of a hassle for that.
I best believe. Shout out to Jiminy Cricket, man.
For sure. Okay. So when was the last time you saw this film?
Last time I watched Pinocchio, like 2 years ago. 2 years ago. It was like maybe 3. It was when it just came out for like Blu-ray.
Oh, Blu-ray edition.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's been a while.
I still have the VHS tape still.
I still have the live action one.
We gotta discuss about that one soon. But I enjoy both of those. So what do you think of Pinocchio in this version of Disney?
To me, that's it should be held on a pedestal. It's a good movie. I agree with you when you say you gotta at least watch it once in your lifetime. Yeah. It's an important tale of learning not to lie and listening to your inner self when you feel like you ain't supposed to do something that you know you're not supposed to do. And just having courage, overcoming something that you believe in almost, because he thought he was a real boy. Turns out he became a real boy. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you watching it, you like, there's no way a wooden boy is gonna become a real flesh, but it happens. He saves the day.
I'm always a big buff of watching behind the scenes stuff, especially when it's Disney. Yeah. And I remember there has been some deleted scenes in the film. I always love seeing deleted scenes. Some are really creepy, some are not as much. But for example, this one creeped me out, even though it's not supposed to. Right. It was like they talk about how Pinocchio came to be. Like, it was about a story, a little story about a tree, and these birds kept like being nagging and getting in the way of him being in peace. Mm-hmm. And eventually he gets frustrated, and that's it. That was basically the whole story, briefly, just summarizing it. And that was like supposed to say a story of how Pinocchio became Pinocchio. And it's a good thing they took it away. Yeah. It probably would have been like a waste of time, sort of, like based on what they had like to do. It was a good thing they did that.
Be an imbalance. Yeah. Speaking of special features, isn't Pinocchio the first Disney movie where they used like 3D like lighting to do the fairy?
Oh, I think they did.
Like panoramic.
Oh.
When they drew her, or however they did it.
Yeah.
I don't remember specifically, but I know that's what they did with her.
Yeah. Their animation was expensive.
Yeah. And they got it from Snow White.
Yeah. They cashed it in from Snow White.
Yeah. So, And this one, I remember when this one came out, it didn't do as well.
Because it was World War II, yeah.
Nobody worrying about Pinocchio.
There's other films that actually took it harder than... Really? Yeah, it took it harder. It was Dumbo and the other ones. They took it harder because it was towards the end of the war, and some were in the beginning of the war, so it was not successful. But this Pinocchio was a bit successful. Like, they got enough money. It just wasn't a big hit.
It wasn't like Snow White. Right.
Because that was before the war. Yeah. Bad luck. It was like sort of bad luck for them. Yeah. And then I know when they were doing the film, like pre-production stage, when they were in the storyboards, there were so many things that happened in the book. I heard in the books, the stories that they wrote about Pinocchio, it was like much darker.
Yeah, more in detail and everything.
Like in the book, Jiminy Cricket was supposed to die. Pinocchio was supposed to, like in the live action one.
Right.
It's sort of close to the book.
Okay, yeah.
Because if you noticed,
Live action was crazy.
because the Pinocchio steps on a cricket, and that was how it was supposed to happen. And then Jiminy's a ghost, like conscious. Yeah. And then in Disney, they didn't do that because it felt kids would cry or something.
He wouldn't be as memorable.
Yeah. Yeah. So they made him look like a live talking cricket. But in the original book, like they did in the live action, Pinocchio kills him, and then he becomes his conscience.
That's dope. Yeah. I haven't seen the live action one in hell.
I love that one. I probably have some music of it. I have a soundtrack of it.
I've been seeing it like when we go to like Dimples.
Yeah.
But I want it on Blu-ray. That's a good one. That one's scary.
That one is.
I remember that one scaring me and shit.
Yeah. The production was just great. The production style, the wardrobe was really good.
Yeah. You would think it was like Tim Burton had something to do with it.
Yeah. I at least collaborated.
Yeah, he was there, you know?
Yeah.
Disney put him on.
Yeah.
We're getting off.
Yeah. So let's go back to what about Geppetto? Did he ever freak you out or anything?
No, I kind of just felt bad for Geppetto. You know, he's almost like the opposite of the lonely cat woman. He just has a bunch of cats. Yeah. He was like that wooden old man. He just made a bunch of clocks.
Yeah, I was like, I felt a little creeped out by him a little bit at the beginning. But thinking it now, there was nothing wrong with him. It's just the way they made him move, the way his face expressions were sometimes creeped me out. But I knew he wasn't like scary. It's just creepy. Yeah. But at the same time, he was a bit innocent, like a child in some way.
I mean, he made a toy. Yeah. He wanted the toy to come.
He's a puppeteer. And what about Figaro?
Figaro's dope. Figaro's dope. Yeah. He doesn't talk, but he's dope. Yeah.
Just I want to say they did something based on the Marx Brothers, the ones that doesn't talk. I want to say they did something of an inspiration over that because he didn't talk, and just basically with the way he moved and the way his mannerisms and his the way he was angry, happy, sad. It made you either laugh or just sad, and just give you an emotion. Right. Yeah, and he was somewhat of a comedy relief character, and speaking of that, and speaking of behind the scenes, there was another scene where Geppetto and Figaro are inside the well, and there was this is one of the creepiest ones I've ever seen for backstage for Pinocchio. There was a scene, this extended scene where they have no food, right. They can't catch any fish inside the well, and Geppetto is like, "What are we gonna do, Figaro? Like, we can't get any fish." And Figaro's like all hungry, and then immediately looks at the fish, and he's like, "I probably want to eat." Visualizes the fish as like a platter and food. Yeah. So he tries to eat, like grab her, and then Geppetto's like, "No, don't do it!" Like hella angry.
Really? It's funny because I feel like I've seen that before.
Yeah, they only have it on sketches. It's crazy. Like, and then he does it a couple more times, and then Geppetto is like, "Stop!" And then he starts visualizing the fish, and he's thinking of eating her too.
He's like, "No,"
and scares the fish. And the way they looked at her was hella creepy too, based on the drawings. And the fish went back to the castle, and Geppetto was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then they all felt bad, and then after that was it. That was creepy.
That's funny. That would have been funny too.
Yeah, I'd have been scared probably if I saw that. If I was younger.
Fucking Disney's blueprints, man. They're always like, we're gonna kill this one off. Geppetto's gonna die in this one, all right? That's crazy. That's crazy. Because Monstro is supposed to be like Moby Dick, isn't it?
Yeah,
Basically.
I think they got the writers from who wrote the stories probably got inspiration from other writers and other stories. Because I think Moby Dick or Pinocchio they were not far off from each other during that time. I think. Um, what about we just talked about the fox and the cat. What do you think of those characters?
It speaking on what we said earlier, like the first time we watch it, like I thought they were cool. The bad people.
Yeah.
I used to like the villains, and then the more you watch it, and you're like, fuck, they're horrible people. But I mean, when I watch it now, it's just silly. It's just like it's just funny.
Yeah.
It's funny because one of them doesn't talk.
Yeah.
So it's that funny how they do that.
I think you ever thought like a little pattern they did since Pinocchio and Snow White, they have at least one or two characters silent. I might do some a little bit more research about it.
Because the next movie is Dumbo, right?
Fantasia.
Fantasia and then Dumbo. Okay.
Yeah. And there's more stuff to it too. It's crazy. There's so much backstory and history between all these films, and Pinocchio, like, let's see. I could probably show you.
I should have did some like real research, man. Should have came in here with the heat.
Let me see. So Carlo Coyote wrote the original novel in Italian magazines in 1881. It was published as a book 2 years later. The name Pinocchio literally means the little wooden head. The hardest part of the production was making Pinocchio a sympathetic character. Coyote's story was rewritten and removed the Woody boy's mischievous, even malicious streak. They made him more passive. So he was a troublemaker the whole time, and I guess Disney wanted him to be like more sympathetic and more nicer.
Yeah, more like oblivious almost.
Yeah, because I guess in the stories they made Pinocchio more of really annoying and really mischievous, and yeah, I think it would have not worked. That film would not work. Would be even remotely successful if they didn't do that.
And it was around that time people didn't want to see no bad little wooden boy.
Yeah.
That they want to spank. I would want to spank him. Like
you get a wood cut. Get a cut. It's like damn. And then they said it was trickier to make him look like a human boy. And I've seen. They usually do when they talk about pre-production. They say I've seen some sketches of they did, and it looks sort of like from the books of how he's supposed to look like. But I like how they did Pinocchio in the Disney version.
How they made him a boy.
Made him look like a boy, somewhat. Right. He still has.
Looks like Pinocchio.
Yeah. It says, according to the 1938 New York article, Walt Disney tossed 2,300 feet of footage representing 5 months of work because it missed the feeling he had in mind. Oh, snap.
They threw away a whole Pinocchio because it didn't work?
A lot of footage. I guess pre-production, like, Walt Disney did not like the direction it was going, I think. I heard it was much darker than it was supposed to be, and Disney did not like that. So he wanted more child-friendly, more happy.
Because they were making their cartoons at the same time.
Yeah, Silly Symphonies. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were still doing the Silly Symphonies. Mickey Mouse was growing still.
Right.
And this was a big project they were doing aside.
Right. It's funny because all of his old cartoons are dark as shit. Like Mickey's like first cartoons, they are not like child friendly, So I could see where he was like, we got to pull back, y'all. All right, people talking about us.
Yeah, like they started right after Disney, the Snow White came out, and it was a success. So they used that money to start pre-production immediately, and then.
And they were already like, this shit was already
like
dark.
a year later.
They good.
Yeah, like a year later, they just said, oh, this is not working. Let's just throw away all this. They also said it took 12 artists, 18 months to come up with a look for Pinocchio that was rounded and cute enough to pass muster. Animator Milt Kahn finally hit upon the idea of drawing him as a human boy, then adding the puppet's nails and joints. Damn. 18 months.
For one character.
That's the answer right there. 18 months it took to make Disney move the Pinocchio character.
It just because you think like 18 months. 18 months. That's every day people had to draw some type of Pinocchio, and Walt had to be like, "Fuck no."
Yeah, I think Disney was always involved in the projects and always checked
Right.
what they had, and he's probably like, nope, 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 nope. And
People like
this, yes.
man, and that's back then where it took like a year to do like a page of something.
Yeah.
So
and then Milk Khan, one of the 9 old men, actually was able to make Walt happy and just move on with the project.
Right.
And then one of the other facts was, like Pinocchio killing the cricket. With in the story, in the live action, like we mentioned, he steps on it. In the original story, he kills the cricket with the hammer.
The one where he's a little badass.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Walt Disney decided to let him to live.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the idea of making him have clothes and start talking. Let's see. There's other differences from the source material. In the book, the Blue Fairy has a team of animals working for her, including a poodle, her coachman, a group of mice to pull the coach, and a snail, a messenger. Stromboli is called Macfiafoco, fire eater, in the novel, and Pleasure Island is called Toyland. And the sea creature that swallows Geppetto and Pinocchio is a giant shark and not a whale.
Oh shit.
So it was supposed to be a giant shark. I don't remember what do you think of that?
Like all of those changes, it's funny. I don't like Toyland.
Okay.
That one just sounds like
Really happy.
and you know what I mean? Like but the shark, that's interesting. Cuz Monstro is a huge like it was a big shark, I'm assuming, right? But like whales don't eat people. Like they just got caught in Monstro. So
Whales just eat fish.
you know, and they just got caught in the fish.
Yeah.
Like Finding Nemo damn near.
Yeah.
So I feel like if they would have got eaten by the shark, they would have been dead. Or he just like one gulps them and shit. I don't know. I got to see the book. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Let's see. Cliff Edwards, a.k.a. Ukulele Ike, was the voice of... he auditioned for the voice of Pinocchio, but he was 43 years old at the time. And so they gave him Jiminy Cricket.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah, he voiced for Pinocchio. He tried to audition for Pinocchio's voice, and then they said that he had a grown up voice, so they had to cast him as Jiminy Cricket. Ukulele Ike, damn. He was a novelty tune singer in the 20s and 30s.
So his voice was popular.
Yeah, totally. And then eventually they used him for Fine and Fancy Free, which we'll talk later about that film.
It's an iconic voice now. Like I didn't know that. I didn't know much about him like that.
Yeah. Dickie Jones was 12 years old when he was at the film Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. That's another great film I saw when I was in high school. And he got the voice of Pinocchio, the little boy. And then he voiced Alexander of one of the boys of Pleasure Island in the story.
Okay.
And when they go to that mischievous place in Pinocchio, he voiced an extra kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the background.
Double duty, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey.
I guess it was tougher to audition for kids at the time. Just picking the right voice and picking the right people. Because everybody wanted to go to Hollywood back then. Yeah, back then, especially for Walt Disney. After all that success with Snow White, people wanted to jump in immediately. Let's see.
Wait, what was the other movie you said that the
Fine and Fancy Free?
No. The Meet the Smiths or what'd you just say?
Mr. Smith Goes to Washington?
Yeah, what's that?
That's the film with James Stewart. He was a teacher who wanted to was running for Congress, and the people of the Senate did not really like him because he was honest and sincere and wanted to change the society in America. But eventually, he goes through this journey of trying to get the Senate to believe that he's the real deal and he deserves to be in Congress. And eventually he does this. I forgot what it's called, but he talks nonstop for like a couple hours so he could appeal and try to. He's still fighting to be on Congress, and then eventually he faints, and they accept him in Congress at the end. Yeah. No, this is another film. Okay. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a great film.
Okay, I'm gonna like this live action Disney like old one like.
Nah, not this one.
Pete's Dragon like.
See, according to Times, character actor who voiced the theoretical con artist Honest John the Fox. Honest John. Honest John the Fox, based on his characterization of two famous acting brothers, whose names started with a B, presumably John and Lionel Barrymore. So it was Honest. I didn't know his name till now. Honest John.
That's funny. I know the other one's Gideon.
Gideon and Honest John. Sweet. Yeah. And then there's another one that says Honest John's sidekick, Gideon the cat, was initially a speaking character voiced by Mel Blanc. Again, when we talked about how Dopey was supposed to be voiced by Mel Blanc, but they kept him quiet.
I wonder, does he get paid for that? Like, he just watches it. He's like, why is the cat not talking? I did words for him.
This says, but the filmmakers decided to make Gideon a mute like Dopey and Snow White, and all Blanc's voice work at Gideon was cut from the film. Save from the 3 hiccups. I guess those 3 hiccups counts. The time when I think I forgot what he drank, but he drank some alcohol or something.
He drank, yeah. They were drinking like Henny or something up in there.
Blanc also voiced Geppetto's cat Figaro in the scene where the feline sneezes. So he probably just did the voice, like the sound effects. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't.
That's interesting.
That is. It's always funny when you see a character that's not talking and they were supposed to talk. Yeah. It just makes you wonder because I picture him quiet.
Yeah. And just having the man with 1,000 voices, just collaborating with Disney, even though he was really well known for Warner Brothers and for the Looney Tunes.
So that was dope. That's cool.
Voicing the roar of the whale was well known later on as the voice of Tony the Tiger.
Really? It was a person that did it?
Yeah.
I thought they made Foley for that.
I didn't think so. Like, it's crazy. I thought, like, eventually I found out how they did the sound effects because they have a lot in the Disney lot. They have a studio, like, basically of all the sound stuff. Yeah. So that's what I thought. That's how they did it, but I guess it was the guy who did the voice of Tony the Tiger.
Now I gotta watch it again. Yeah. Now I gotta hear Monstro, and I'm like, that's somebody's voice. That's funny.
Let's see.
Disney, man, that's so cool.
Yeah,
they're always sneaking shit up in there.
So much crazy like history.
It is. Their references are crazy.
Ravenscroft and his singing group, the Mellowmen, also performed a song called Honest John, which was ultimately cut from the film. I never heard it, but it's probably in the Disney DVD of Lost Songs. I would like to hear that one.
Yeah. I wonder what part it would have been at.
Yeah, maybe. I hope they have some sketches or something. That would be cool to see. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's probably in the Diamond Edition or something. I don't know. That's another thing. I don't get when Disney puts diamond, gold.
The vault shit.
Even though, like, for example, Aladdin just came out and it's the Diamond Edition. Yeah. It just came out like a couple.
The platinum one just came out. That's their vault shit. Because it's out now, but, like, if you don't get a copy of it, you can't get it until they bring this. What's next? Like, what's next?
They got to stop calling them by gems.
Yeah, because the Emerald is going to be the next one. Like, it's funny.
see.
Since we're on that topic, why does Disney movies always $30?
I don't know.
I mean, even old ones.
I don't know. I bought it. I bought a couple years back. It was like 2008. I bought Jungle Book on DVD at Costco,
I have that too.
and that costed like close to $30.
And that's like the gold edition, right?
It was an edition.
Okay.
I think it was diamond or platinum, whatever diamond.
I'm sick of it. Stop it, Disney.
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe because of its name, the mark.
Yeah.
I mean, I never knew how much they costed when I was growing up, but they're always brought in. They were always brought in, and I would just watch them.
Always.
Yeah.
But now I feel like I want to start the Disney collection, but like half of them you have to like go deep in the internet to find.
Yeah. What I do, I'm starting to collect VHS again, like the Disney ones. So I go to Denials, and I always see this same guy selling VHS tapes of Disney, and they're $1 each. So every film that I don't have in my collection, I just buy one every time I go.
We went there yesterday.
Oh, you did?
I think I know who you're talking about.
It's like on the far corner near the wall where the streets are.
On the ground.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's where I usually buy.
I was hella like boom, boom, boom. I was like, damn.
Yeah, that's where I usually go.
That's a smart idea, huh? And you'll get like the rich filmy
Yeah.
feel of watching it, not the super triple remastered
Yeah.
version.
I don't like that. Yeah, I'm sort of into that phase of watching VHS tapes again. Like most of the films I grew up watching are VHS. Okay. The DVDs are probably bought basically when I was 12 and on. Right. Usually I would buy them at the flea market too. Films I haven't seen. Disney, The Jungle Book was an exception of a Disney film on DVD. I never bought another Disney film on DVD. That's the only film. The other ones are VHS tapes.
That's funny, because if we're not counting Pixar movies, because I feel like Pixar is in its own like realm with Disney's tag on it. You know what I mean? So like, I have Jungle Book, and I think that's it. I think that's it. Like for DVDs, like I can't think of my. Fuck no. Like.
Oh, never mind. My sister bought Tangled when it came out.
I've never seen Tangled.
Oh, it's a good film.
I heard it was good. I haven't seen it. It's Rapunzel, isn't it? Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Let's see. And then when you mention about 3D cameras, I got another fact. Basically, much of the film's visual richness comes from Disney's famed multicam camera, used to give painted environments an illusion of depth.
That's right.
And they use that in Snow White.
Okay. Yeah, the layers, right?
Yeah, the multi-cameras. And the cinematographer would approach the setup they had from above, and then Pinocchio and the Disney team developed what is called the universal crane that was approached to set up from any direction, like a crane-mounted camera on live-action set.
You want to know what's funny? That, what movie was it? I think Peter Pan. I think in that bonus feature, I seen that. And they talked about it because that's how they do their, like, it looks like a picture, but it's not a picture. Yeah. And that's how they can always, like, take stuff out. Yeah. Like it's a stage. Yeah.
Yeah. There's another film that actually had that. In the VHS tape of Bambi. Yes. After all that, they talk about the backstage of how they did it. And they still use that same multi-camera stuff. So I knew about that. Yeah. And then for Snow White, I still want to see more of Snow White's backstory, like the bonus features. But I knew from then on, I knew that they used that to make the animations for most of the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always found that interesting about how they did these films.
Yeah, it is. Because nowadays, it seems easy compared to the way they used to have to do shit. Yeah. And it's hard to do it now. So I can only imagine what they had to go through. Yeah. Shit.
The film costed $2.3 million to make, twice as much as Snow White, but it earned less than $2 million during the initial run. It was enough, but it wasn't that successful. Right. And in some ways, it's considered a flop. Mm-hmm. But first time they had enough money, but they had to think again of not being too ambitious after this film. Right. And that's how they went to Fantasia, which was it was a smaller budget to make. Fantasia. So this one they were really ambitious after seeing Snow White. They were like, oh, this is interesting. Like we did something great. Mm-hmm. It was successful. Mm-hmm. Let's go even higher. And then when Pinocchio, they just said, this okay. The animation is beautiful. I love the animation. It's like the details of every settings. It's perfect.
The way the water hits on stuff.
Yes. And then when it was box office flop considerably, they had to rethink of what they should do now. After at this point, right. When they did Pinocchio,
it's like, don't do another Pinocchio right now, because it's gonna be even a lesser than what we just made.
Yeah.
So.
It said some theories of the movie did poorly initially because it was so grim, because it was dark. Right. Pinocchio is terrorized throughout the movie, and 4 of the 5 villains who torment him get off unpunished. True. Yeah. Very true. But now that I think about it, shouldn't it be like an essence of life? So sometimes bad guys get away with it.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, he got himself in those situations. Yeah. Like, he didn't wake up and then get taken to all these places. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah, I don't, some people don't like the truth. And that's probably what it was. They was probably like, fuck, I lie all the time. Especially around that time.
This said the film eventually made profit during the re-release in 1945. So eventually after the war, Disney would put the film back in theaters a total of 7 times between 1945 and 1992. Yes. And I've seen some VHS trailers of it saying like, this is the last time of this millennium to get this DVD. Yeah, because I've seen that on I don't remember what Disney film it was. I think it was Lion King. Yeah. It was like re-release or
Little Mermaid. One of them. The Vault, man. The Vault is evil. They tried to trick you, man. It's evil.
The film did win 2 Academy Awards for its music. The When You Wish Upon a Star,
which is like Disney's song now.
Yeah, Disney's
that's Disney's theme.
It's crazy thinking about it, like how that little portion of that song of the movie just exploded and actually became an all-time classic theme for Disney alone. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah.
It's like, did they trademark that? They've trademarked that. That's theirs, right?
Speaking of that, Family Guy got sued for that because they used When I Wish Upon a Jew or something like that. So, and they got sued for using that same tune and context. Yeah. They know what's up. So they got in trouble for that, but I guess that's how important it is to Disney. It's crazy.
That's like Taylor Swift. If she owns words now.
That's dumb.
It is dumb. That was so dumb.
You can't let people talk anymore. That sucks.
Man. You can't say like shake it off without like getting. I might get in trouble because I just said that.
Shake it off.
We both gonna get in trouble.
Screw it. And then they might make us a song of us because we say shake it off.
That might happen.
Shake it off. So okay. A little deeper meaning of the film. What'd you think of when Pinocchio died?
For that quick second. It's back then, I got sad.
It was a bit sad, but not as sad as Disney Snow White. Like the ending when she dies, that's not as sad as when Pinocchio died. It was a bit sad knowing that he was dead. But at first I thought, when I first saw that, I didn't think he was dead. I think he was just asleep or just knocked out. Okay. But eventually I found out he was dead. Oh, well, actually, I knew he was dead, but I didn't want to believe it when I first saw it because I remember they showed a scene where he's like floating upside down. See, that's creepy. See, that's creepy too. That's another creepy part of the film. Just when he dies, they show it how he dies.
He's just laying there, right.
You don't see that in Disney anymore, man.
No.
You don't see that anymore.
It's like
It's taboo.
whatever is like the rating before G. That's what Disney does now. Like these were like PG for that time.
Yeah.
So
They were these were really dark films, and it just won't happen again.
it's funny you say when we see him dead. It's almost like through the movie, you almost care about Jiminy more than Pinocchio. So when Pinocchio died, you almost like, so does Jiminy get a star? Like, I'm bullshitting, but
Is he gonna start no matter what?
But I think that's like when you see him, like you're like, oh shit, like get up. But it would have been more if Jiminy was dying. Like you probably would be like, oh fuck.
He's not getting a star.
No. I'm just thinking of Geppetto. Pinocchio. And Figaro, right? The cat is crying with the fish.
Oh, yeah.
It's very sad.
Yeah. It's very sad. I wasn't too sad about it, but
No, that's what I mean.
sad,
Like,
though.
because I mean, he just left being a dick. He was a little jackass. So
he learned though. Like not many people notice, but Figaro changes. His character develops from being a spoiled brat, and then just caring person. Yeah, caring cat, not person. Caring cat. Yeah. What do you think of the Pleasure Island?
I think that's like that to the end are like the best parts. I love that part. That part is scary too when they turn it into donkey.
Yeah, that whole sequence is scary and fun at the same time because you see all those people being mischievous, all those kids, and I knew as a kid I wasn't too much a fan of cigars, but seeing that was cool.
Drinking too.
Drinking too.
That's not in Disney.
You will never see that again. Well,
No, not in the cartoon. Is it in Princess and the Frog?
no, but I will have to see Tangled again because they are at a bar.
Uh-oh.
I have to see that again if they're drinking.
Is it a bar or a tavern?
Vikings.
Oh, shit. That's hella funny.
I have to see that.
I picture they'd be doing it in Princess and the Frog because they're in New Orleans.
I have a lot to say about that film. Well, that'll be for another episode. That film, oh my god, I liked it.
Okay.
I liked it more than I thought it would be. I had there were so many expectations because some people said it was bad, some people were saying we're good, but yeah, that's for another story though.
Okay, we'll come to that one though. I technically seen that Entangled like on Disney on Ice. Yeah. So I haven't seen it, but I've heard all the songs. Yeah. But I haven't like I have an idea of what it is, but I haven't watched the movie. Yeah. Yeah. But I will. We love Disney. Yeah.
But yeah, Pinocchio. It's one of my favorite films out there. One of my favorites. I'll probably. Oh, dude, what's it called? As a kid, I went there when I was a kid in Disneyland, and I was a scaredy cat as a kid. So seeing those rides, I was like, there's recordings of me in Disneyland, and my eyes are all closed up, and I'm like super scared, and I'm like, no, too dark, and
She does it too, and she's grown. So.
Damn. No, that's okay though. She's
Hey. It's scary, you know. It's a little frightening.
And then the Snow White ride was pretty dark for a kid too. I'm not gonna lie.
So was the Mr. Toad one.
Yeah.
When you're like driving in hell.
Yeah.
I used to get spooked during that part.
Hopefully it's still there in Disneyland. It's still there?
Mm-hmm.
I need to go there again.
Yes.
Huh?
I said yes.
Oh, I thought I said guess. I'm like, what?
Oh, no. Guess who? No. No, yeah, man.
Yeah, totally. Dude, this film, even though it's dark, it has its morals. My mom kept telling me, like, while we're watching it together, she kept telling me, like, oh, this is happening. You shouldn't do this. if you be a good boy, you won't be a donkey. And then eventually I saw the live action one, and then you could compare those another time, but this film stands alone as one of the best animated films in Disney history ever. Just in animation history ever. Yeah, totally. One of the golden years of Disney. Yeah. Or the forefronts. Yeah. That brought up the 9 Old Men, actually.
If you think about it, if they did, like, aside from Fantasia, because Fantasia was gonna happen regardless. Say they did Dumbo right now instead of Pinocchio or Bambi.
It wouldn't be as successful. It would be sort of successful. It'll probably have a cult following. Right. It would probably be controversial because of the scarecrows.
Yes, for Dumbo, right? Yeah. Absolutely.
It would be controversial. Pinocchio, if it was today, it would be monumental. It would be successful.
Absolutely. Especially if it was original.
And if you notice, Pinocchio didn't have a lot of songs. No. Not a lot of songs. It's just straightforward. This happens, they go over here. This happens, they go over here.
And then after a certain point, there are no more songs.
Yeah. No more songs after that. I like that. It's dope. Let me see. And nowadays, you just see a bunch of Disney films just singing every single time. I mean,
it's to the point that they're just selling them soundtracks, man. Back then, it was like a cherished soundtrack. Now it's like they market the soundtrack more than the movie.
Speaking of the soundtracks, Pinocchio actually won an award for the soundtrack.
Those songs are dope. Those songs are dope. Yeah. Because Snow White doesn't have that many, doesn't it? It doesn't have that many.
Not that many, but at that time, they Disney did not own them because RKO Pictures had the rights to the soundtrack. So now, but at that time, the same company, RKO Pictures, were doing the music for them. Right. And I forgot who the composer was, but he won the award for it.
For like Hi-Ho and.
Not for Snow White, but for Pinocchio. But he did the same thing for Snow White, but Pinocchio was much more successful.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because Pinocchio songs they're memorable.
Really memorable. But yeah, how would you grade Pinocchio?
It gets an A-.
A-? I agree. A-. It's A- because it's a perfect film, but it's not. I understand for why there's some flaws to it. Mm-hmm. It's one of my favorite films, but not my top 5. Okay. It's my top 10.
Okay.
Not my top 5. It's probably like a 6, top 6. It would be number 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew up. We both grew up watching it. It's a classic film.
It sucks because the kids today don't care.
Yeah. They care what's trending.
Yeah, so, I mean, when they remake Pinocchio, the live action one, it's going to suck ass.
Yeah. I didn't bother. Maybe I got a little hyped with the Jungle Book one.
I did.
That one looks cool.
I have a somewhat hope for it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I didn't bother the Cinderella one. I was like, nah.
How many times can you tell that story? We all know it. Yeah. Babies even know that story. Like, come on now. Yeah. Have you seen Tomorrowland?
Okay. I try to watch it on Saturday night, because I saw Inside Out, and I saw it on my. I like it. It's not my favorite, but I like it. Is it better than Cars? Hell yeah, it's better than Cars.
I needed to hear.
Inside Out is better than Cars.
That's all I needed to
hear. The franchise. Cars is horrible.
Cars is bad. Cars isn't marketed to us.
Yeah. I didn't buy into the game. I didn't buy into the cars. I thought they were copying from another cartoon Disney did back in the 1930s and 40s. I actually have a cartoon like that where it's like a live car and the same structure. That's how they look like. So yeah, I never mentioned it till now.
Oh shit.
But yeah.
You're gonna get in trouble, George.
Yeah. This is Pinocchio, guys. It's nice having you here, Jamani.
Thank you, man. Always.
Another time is gonna be Fantasia, the original.
Are we gonna do Fantasia and 2000? Should like we do both?
Why not? We'll do that for next time.
Because they're both on Netflix.
Yeah. We'll do Fantasia 1940 and Fantasia 2000 from 1999.
Fuck yeah. I mean, the first one's better. But I mean, 2000s is dope. I seen it at IMAX.
All right, guys. That's what's Disney Thursdays. We'll see you next time.